months and months and months of this?
I just want to see something other than those mitts.
Does he dismiss does he wish he didn't say yes to it? How's his health? How's his back?
Months and months and months of this. I just want to sear on him. Does he dismiss these? Does he wish he didn't say yes to it? How's his health? How's his back? How's watching Mike Tyson lose to Jake Paul was devastating to Joe Rogan, but what's even more disheartening is the news of Mike Tyson being taken to the hospital after the fight on Friday the 15th of November. Millions of people took to Netflix in order to watch the return of one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time, as Mike Tyson took on Jake Paul, and a lot of them went into the bout with a similar hope to watch the baddest man on the planet knock out the most annoying man on the planet. All eyes were on Mike Tyson's return to boxing on Friday night for his fight against Jake Paul. Unfortunately, many fans were left disappointed by the bout as Paul cruised to a unanimous decision victory over Tyson, and the result drew a stark three-word admission from Joe: applause. Rogan. Tyson's return to the ring was certainly exciting, but it quickly became apparent that he was not going to be able to beat Paul. The YouTuber turned pro boxer had a distinct advantage, man ag, with his age, as he is 31 years younger than Tyson, and with his reach, as he was able to keep Tyson at bay for most of the fight. Most fans of Mike Tyson had their dreams crushed with the problem child going the distance against Iron Mike to take a victory by unanimous decision. Others who might have been expecting a more exciting contest may have been left even more disappointed, as the bout was marred by technological issues. It was crap on it. Let's be honest, the fight itself was awful. What happened in the fight? What happened in the ring? There was no substance. It's like when you cook in a mall all day. You cook up a nice broth, you put your organic stat mince, and you put your potatoes and your sweet potatoes. A bit about with Netflix hosting the contest on their platform. Constant buffering and app disconnections dominated the fight as many grew tired of trying to manage the horrible streaming outside the technological issues. However, Jake Paul dominated the fight, with the YouTuber turned boxer revealing he intentionally did not knock out the former world champion. In an interview with BBC Sport, "I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt," Paul said. When questioned about the fight, the Ohio-born boxer also claimed to carry Tyson throughout the contest. "I did a little bit. He wasn't really engaging back. I could tell his age was showing, and I have so much respect for him." "Did you feel Mike's power at all?" "No, he hit you at one and you gave him the tongue." "I only because the crowd got turned up, but it didn't actually, but I mean like he was fulfilling Jake Paul's prophecy." Iron Mike Tyson was moved straight to the hospital after the fight. After the test he conducted immediately showed that he needed an emergency treatment. His sciatica sickness that caused him so much back pain had been triggered, and he had also received some damaging punches to his head, leaving his health at a very great risk. Hence he was told to stay back at the hospital until the doctors were sure no case of emergency could erupt. While Iron Mick came out of the gates firing, leaving some fans to believe that maybe the dream could be on. The problem child responded with a left hook combination in the third round that had the veteran staggering. Paul proceeded to dominate the rest of the fight, winning the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th rounds. Quite bizarrely, the YouTube star decided to bow towards Tyson in the dying seconds of the final round in what some considered to be a mocking applause gesture. However, it was proven once and for all that the baddest man on the planet's time in the sun was finally over, as he couldn't even muster up the strength to land a hit on a defenseless opponent. One of the many people who went into the fight with a dream of Mike Tyson laying Jake Paul out on the canvas like he did to other boxers in his heyday was American podcaster and UFC commentator Joe Rogan, who had this to say before the fight began on X. Pre-fight, Joe Rogan said, "I'm getting ready to watch this Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight like I'm watching someone cast a spell that I hope actually works, and I don't really believe in magic, but I'm getting ready to watch this Tyson vs. Jake Paul fight like I'm watching someone cast a spell that I hope actually works, and I don't really believe in magic, but I want to believe." The problem child Jake Paul has taken to social media to send an official fight contract to UFC star Conor McGregor. Of course, his thoughts on the existence of magic proved to be correct, as instead of the dream career-ending Rogan instead had to see one of the greatest boxers of all time struggle through a farce of a fight following his original tweet with 3 very simple words which made his feelings on the fight very clear: "Magic isn't real." And Joe Rogan responding to himself saying, "I guess magic isn't real." Like many other fans of Tyson, Rogan was hoping that the legendary boxer could somehow pull out a victory over Paul. He ended up being disappointed. With the result, Tyson made a career for himself as being one of the most powerful fighters in the world, and he constantly defied expectations along the way. However, even this was too tall of a task for him as he simply did not have the stamina to go toe-to-toe with Paul for a full 8 rounds. There were a bevy of fans on the same boat, Rogan, who were hoping to see one last magical moment from Tyson before he rode off into the sunset. But unfortunately that magical moment was nowhere to be found, and it resulted in a cakewalk of a victory for Paul. At any point did you start to take your foot off the gas just a little bit because you knew he was tiring out? Yeah, definitely a bit. I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt. Despite the presumption that this would be it for Tyson, he refused to officially retire from the ring in the immediate aftermath of this fight, saying that he could see himself returning to boxing in the future despite how he fared against Paul. So who knows, maybe that magical moment Rogan was looking for does exist but simply hasn't come to fruition yet. As a result, Tyson will be worth keeping an eye on, as another match could be in his future even with this loss on his record now. Joe Rogan had been one of the most outspoken combat sport professionals ahead of the fight, seriously rooting for a Mike Tyson victory. Dude, he's perfectly capable of knocking him out. He is perfectly capable. If he zigs when he should have zagged, if Mike can close a distance in a way that he doesn't expect, and Mike also has layers upon layers of attacks that are in his mind. However, he didn't completely rule out Jake Paul despite his desire for a Tyson in victory. Rogan had earlier questioned why people often underestimate Jake Paul and instead advised them to forget him as a YouTuber and perceive him like they would perceive regular boxers. No, I mean people can take something away from them because they're YouTube people. I always tell people just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him box. Yeah, the kid can fight 100%, mix martial arts, and Hale is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mids for Tyson and Tyson smash in the midst like Jesus, that guy can still __ you up. He don't want to fight. Rogan went ahead to highlight moments from Paul's fight against Tommy Fury as evidence of Paul's boxing ability, and that Tommy Fury fight really showed that it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer. While he had a big question to ask from Jake Paul as to why he chose to fight the monstrous Tyson, he spoke about Tyson's unbelievable magnificence in the boxing ring and believed he was still as Pawai if Jake Paul's in the other side of the ring and he sees Mike Tyson just bobbing and weave it. He's going to have AA recognition. He's going to look over and go, oh my god, that's really Mike Tyson. Yeah, like look at this. He approached the 31-year difference between the pair like it was nothing and boasted about Tyson's training intensity like a trainer would do to his trainee. Know why? I don't care if he's 55, that's still Mike Tyson. Mike's in good shape. Mike trains every day. He trains with Rafael Cordo, who's a legend in MMA. He runs King's Mixed Martial Arts. Rogan had nothing but praises for Mike Tyson as well as his trainer Rafael Cordo, who he referred to as a MMA legend and renowned trainer. The power is the last thing to go, but the thing is the speed is still there. Yeah, and I don't know what he did with, look at that, seriously, I don't know what he did with Roy Jones Jr., but in my mind it looked like they made some sort of an agreement where Mike wasn't going to punch him in the face, cause and Rafael is a world-end trainer. When you see him holding the MS for Tyson and Tyson smashing the MS like Jesus, that guy can still knock you out. Talking to Mike Tyson just after he saw the sparring footage with Rafael Cordo, Joe Rogan told him, but that's what I was seeing when I saw you hit the pads. I'm like, this isn't just working out, there was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordo and you were ripping to the body and throwing those hooks, I was like, this is a man who is preparing to go into combat. This is not normal getting ready to work out stuff. That's why when I saw that video I was like, OOW. Mind-boggling. Well, that's what I was seeing when I was seeing you hit the pads. I'm like, this isn't just working out, there was something going on, man. When you were working out with Cordo and he also referenced Mike Tyson's last fight 4 years ago against Roy Jones Jr. He stated that the technology for recovery used by Mike and his team were sublime, and these technological tools would likely be at his disposal.